What's up? Billie Weiss back here for another video, and today I'm going to give you guys 5 tips to start off on that killer photography portfolio. Let's go! Wow man, back at it for another video. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about photography portfolios. This is something that I'm super passionate about and I've learned a lot about over the years in my photography career. So having a career in photography can be one of the most rewarding and exciting career paths you can possibly take. Just simply having a camera in your hand brings you to some of the most unbelievable places you never thought you'd see yourself go to. It puts you in touch with some incredible people that you never thought you would meet. And it puts you right in the middle of some experiences that you never thought or never imagined you would be a part of. Now, all that being said, a lot of people don't quite realize just how difficult it can be to get started within the profession of photography. Now, there are a couple reasons for this, but really it all comes down to this. Photography right now is easier, more open, more accessible to the masses than it ever has been before. The cell phone cameras and all the apps that pretty much make any picture look good and the cheap, easy to use digital cameras have made this market open and accessible to pretty much anybody who wants to get started in photography. There's a lot more pictures to look at, and as a result, there's a lot more competition, especially in the context of trying to get a photography job or a freelance photography gig that you're competing for. You are going up against a lot more people out in the world than you were, say, 5, 10, 15 years ago. Now, this isn't meant to discourage or scare you if you're thinking about starting out for a career in photography. Remember, if you can find a way to find success within this business, it can be one of the most unbelievable career experiences that you can choose. With that being said, you need to figure out a way to separate yourself from the pack. What's the best way to do that? You need to have an unbelievable photography portfolio. So what exactly is a portfolio? Well, in its simplest form, a portfolio is a concise collection of images that showcases your best work as a photographer. And in the context of getting hired for a photography-related job or internship or a photo-related freelance gig, you have to have a great portfolio. In fact, it's the #1 most important thing you can have ready. Photo editors and people who are hiring for photography-related jobs look for your portfolio before they look for anything else. That means before your resume, before your cover letter, or any other supplemental materials that you have for your application. They look for the work first and foremost above everything else. Now, luckily for you guys, I look at hundreds, if not thousands of photography portfolios every single year as part of my job as the team photographer for the Boston Red Sox. And over the years, I put together notes on what makes a good portfolio and what makes a bad portfolio. And I want to share some of those secrets with you guys right here today. So here are 5 things that you can do right now to get started on making your unbelievable photography portfolio. Y'all ready? Lego! All right, #1, shoot often. You have to shoot a lot, and I mean a lot. I mean a lot. Photography is just like any other skill. It takes time to master, it takes time to perfect, it takes time to learn and develop. You know that old cliche saying, it takes 10,000 hours of practice to get good at anything you're trying to do? Well, that actually applies to photography. I remember my high school photography teacher told us it takes 10,000 photos to get one single photo that you're happy with or one single photo that is technically considered a good photo. Now, there are a couple of reasons to get out there as much as you can and shoot every single day. The first is getting comfortable with your camera. You want to get to the point where you're so comfortable with your camera that you're not sitting there wasting energy thinking about the settings and how to control the camera, but instead devoting all that creative energy into figuring out what makes a good picture for the scenario that you're in. The second part of getting out there and shooting every day is you'll begin to develop your own personal, unique style or your own look that is unique to you as a photographer and only you. But this isn't something that happens from 1 or 2 days of shooting. This is years worth of being out there shooting and learning what you like, what you're visually drawn to, and what appeals to you from a creative standpoint. I look at a lot of portfolios every year that only show work from maybe 2 or 3 days worth of shooting, and quite frankly, you can tell. The backgrounds are all the same, the lighting is all very similar, the outfits that the subjects are wearing are pretty much the same in every picture. It's the same 2 or 3 events. Quite frankly, that's not going to be enough to separate you from the competition when there are so many people out there shooting every single day. You want to show a deep, diverse, wide-ranging body of work for your editors or for people that are hiring for your photography jobs. All right, number 2, numero dos, find variety. You need to find and shoot a variety of different type of work. All right, here's the deal. No matter what type of photography job you find yourself in, even if it is a niche or a specific type of photographer job, you're still not going to shoot just that one type of photography. Now, here's an example from my own life and my own work. I am the team photographer for the Boston Red Sox, right? You would consider that to be a sports photographer job. And while sports is definitely a part of it, it doesn't make up the entirety of the work I do. I would say the actual baseball action, the stuff happening on the field between the lines, only accounts for about 30 to 40% of what I shoot at the Red Sox. The rest of it is comprised of press conferences, events and appearances, portraits, features of the ballpark and of our fans, and even breaking news sometimes. So yes, I am a sports photographer technically by the role, but sports photography only makes up a certain part of what I do there. I have friends who are newspaper or newswire photographers, and while breaking news is the majority of what they cover, they also have to do a lot of public or planned events like press conferences, grip and grins, that type of thing. Even like a music photographer, yes, they'll shoot the concerts, but they also have to shoot portraits, they have to shoot events, they have to shoot the public appearances with the fans. So no matter what type of photography job you end up with, even if it's a specific type of photographer job, you're still gonna have to shoot pretty much everything, and you wanna show to your editors or people who are hiring that you know how to shoot in all scenarios. It proves that you're a versatile and valuable asset to whatever they need. Okay, number 3, look around. Just take a minute and look around. I wish I knew all these things when I was starting out, but this is one that I somehow figured out on my own, and it paid off for me big time. If you want to be a certain type of photographer, you don't have to go straight to the top level of that field in order to have a great portfolio. So in other words, if you want to be a sports photographer, you don't have to have photos of LeBron James or Tom Brady in your portfolio to get attention. You don't need to go buy a ticket to a professional sporting event, sit all the way up in the upper deck and shoot through layers of netting and fans just to get mediocre pictures of professional athletes for the simple fact that they're famous athletes. If you want to do music, you don't have to go buy a ticket to the concert and sit all the way in the back row with a long lens and get some mediocre pictures of Lady Gaga from 500 yards away. Editors and people who are hiring don't care who's in your portfolio, even if they're famous people. They've looked at so many pictures and they've been around so many different scenarios that they really don't care if the people in your portfolio are famous or just regular Joe Schmoes. They just want to see good pictures. It doesn't matter who. They'd rather see great pictures of people from your own neighborhood or your own backyard than mediocre or bad pictures of famous people. So what does that really mean? Well, if you're in high school or college and you're interested in photography, you are so lucky because you have a built-in playground of a million different things to shoot. Take advantage of everything that's happening right on your campus. You've got sports, you've got student events and speakers, you've got arts and entertainment, you've got guest lecturers, you've got things happening on campus. You want to be that person that shows up to every single thing that's happening and use that as a way to develop your portfolio. If you're not in school, take a look around at your local community and in your own neighborhood. There are great stories to tell of everyday people every single day. People do incredible things all the time. You just gotta take a look around and try and find those people, grab your camera and get out there and shoot whatever it is that they're doing. And the beauty of these stories is that you don't need a press pass or media access to be able to shoot. You can just go right up to them, establish a relationship, and shoot whatever you want to shoot. Now, as you work your way up and as you progress, you will end up making those higher profile pictures, and you'll find yourself in situations where you're able to get that great stuff. But when you're starting out, just start small and focus on making great pictures of whatever it is that you have around you. Remember, editors and people that are hiring don't care who's in the photo, they just want to see great pictures. It's the only thing that matters. Are you ready for number 4? This one is super, super important. Don't get discouraged by the fancy gear or equipment that you don't have. Don't get me wrong, having nice gear or nice equipment as a photographer certainly helps. But especially when you're starting out, you really don't need all that much. All you really need is one good camera and one good lens, and you can make great pictures. Think of it like this. A gourmet chef could probably come to your kitchen right now and whip up a 5-star meal no matter how old your kitchen is. It's the same with great photographers. Great photographers can make great pictures no matter what kind of camera you give them, even if it's something very simple or basic. Remember, as you progress, you'll be able to build out your kit. As you start to make some money, you can invest in some of the gear that you want to buy. But when you're starting out, you don't need to go crazy buying expensive cameras, expensive lenses, and all kinds of other gear. All you need is one basic camera and one basic lens. Don't focus on the gear, focus on making great pictures. If you don't have a lot of stuff at your disposal, don't sweat it. Stick to the basics. All right, you guys still with me? Number 5, nail the presentation. So you've gone out, you've shot all these beautiful pictures. Now what do you do to be able to pull it together and to show something to the editors or clients or people that are hiring? Well, you need a website that can put it all together and show your images in a clean, concise, elegant, beautiful, easy to look at way. I look at thousands of portfolios every year, like I said, and the ones that stand out to me, in addition to all the other things we talked about, are the ones that show the images in a nice, beautiful, organized way. I generally offer 2 easy rules of thumb. The first one is consider breaking your photos down into specific categories or subcategories rather than just throwing all the photos into one gallery. So for example, if you have a lot of portraits, make a portrait specific gallery with those portraits. If you have sports, make a sports gallery. If you have events and appearances, make an events gallery, and break your website down into multiple different galleries rather than just all the photos in some random order in one big folder. The second rule, and this one can be tricky, is being a tough critic on yourself and thinking about how many photos you really want to show. Generally, less is more. You only want to show the best of your best stuff. 20 great photos is way more effective for a portfolio than 50 or 100 mediocre photos. Really take some time, narrow it down to the best of the best work, and show only the stuff that you're most proud of. There are a lot of websites out there that offer these types of services. Some of them are completely free, like Wix or Squarespace, which will give you some basic, really nice looking templates to start with at absolutely no cost. Now others come with a yearly subscription cost, but can give you a lot more options as far as customization and really building the look that you want. With the Red Sox and with my own personal freelance work, I use LIBRIS by PHOTOSHELTER. And here's what it looks like. The beauty of PHOTOSHELTER is that it gives you pretty much everything you need, both the back-end storage and a front-end website experience. So as you can see, I'm able to store all the photos that I've ever shot in a cloud-based digital format, and I can access my entire life's worth of work really anywhere that I have an internet connection. I can also use the platform to send galleries out to my freelance clients after I do a shoot for them. And on the front end, PHOTOSHELTER offers some really nice, beautiful, elegant website template designs to put together some amazing looking portfolios. Here's mine as an example, and as you can see, having a really nicely laid out website is crucial to the success of your portfolio. Okay guys, like I said, I know it can be tough and I know it can be difficult to think about starting on a photography portfolio, but take these 5 simple steps into consideration and you will be well on your way. Remember, shoot often, look for variety, take advantage of your surroundings, don't sweat the gear, and present it together in a nice and beautiful way, and you will be well ahead of the competition when it comes to your photography portfolio. Last but not least guys, if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment down below. What other tips or questions do you have when it comes to photography portfolios? I want to hear from you. You all can also follow me right here on Instagram for more photos. You can also slide into my DMs, ask me anything you want, I'm all ears. But in the meantime, let's get out there, let's absolutely crush these photography portfolios. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and we'll see you at the next video. See ya.